Garden Stores brings you Garage Logic Podcast number 1229, January 22nd, 2024.
Where did January go, brah?
51 degrees on this day. That was back in 1942. And on this day in 1886, she was 34 below.
Hail the flashlight king.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Haidt in the newsroom, and of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Souchere.
I got to note that Alabama, the state of Alabama, will carry out executions now using nitrogen gas instead of helium.
What is the reason?
Or maybe they never used helium.
They never used helium, yeah.
But Jordy was wishing they would use helium because it would make for funnier last words.
Yes, exactly.
I'm not going to hell. I'm really sorry. I'm going to hell.
Oh, is everybody?
Hey.
Good.
All right.
How would helium work in an execution?
I don't know. I'm also told that I've been pronouncing Lahaina wrong.
Yeah.
I've been pronouncing it Lahaina. It's Lahaina. I've gotten many emails to that end, and I will now pronounce it correctly. Lahaina was the town destroyed in
You
the
also
islands.
Mispronounce the word crick.
No, I pronounce that correctly.
So can we add Lahaina to Mackinac Bridge?
I've never called it Mackinac.
Oh, I thought that was you. Was that
It's
somebody else?
Mackinac.
Oh.
I love that bridge, and I'm not afraid to drive over it. So there.
What's the island called?
Mackinac.
Wrong.
Mackinac?
I love saying wrong. It reminds me of our former president. Wrong.
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 Wrong. You got to do this, though, Kenny. Wrong.
Wrong. Yeah.
Speaking of our former president,
Heck of a run by DeSantis.
Tom from St. Paul writes, Joe, I know that Donald Trump is a touchy topic on your show, but hopefully I have something insightful to add to the discussion. I was moved by the emails you read on last Wednesday's podcast. You and the crew were correct. The email succinctly spelled out why a person might be tempted to vote for Donald Trump. For months now, I've been threatening to anyone who will listen that I'll vote for RFK if we're facing a Trump-Biden rematch. However, those emails you read Wednesday were so powerful that I once again found myself thinking I might be able to hold my nose and vote for Trump a third time. Maybe this time he can surprise me and keep it together. The emails he's referring to were very thoughtful emails from people saying how this current government has essentially ignored many Americans. For example, the people in Lahaina, who are without homes, and yet we keep sending money elsewhere and taking care of illegals. In the meantime, our own people are suffering. However, Thursday's Wall Street Journal featured a piece about Trump's ongoing defamation lawsuit. The story described how, as Trump's accuser spoke on the witness stand, the former president began talking so loudly the testimony could not be heard. The judge chastised Trump, and rather than apologize and keep quiet, he instead turned it into a peeing match. And just like that, I once again found myself saying, no, never again. And the thing is, I would have previously said the reason for my never Trump stance was that the man simply can't get his worst instincts under control. He seems incapable of acting like anything other than, for the lack of a better word, an a-hole. However, a new thought occurred to me. Much as Joe Biden is showing his age through a lack of mental and physical acuity, I wonder if Trump's increasing irrationality is a sign of his age. Yes, he seems miles ahead of Joe Biden physically and mentally, but when I read that he took on a judge at his own defamation trial, it dawned on me that I might be witnessing a man in tremendous decline. I've witnessed this in my own elderly relatives, frustration at one's increasing physical and mental acuity manifesting as frustration and anger. That's one thing when referring to your elderly father-in-law dozing in his recliner. It's quite another when it's the leader of the free world and we're on the brink of World War III. I'll close by pasting a link I've provided before. It features Michael Moore, of all people, succinctly laying out the case for Trump in the days leading up to the 2016 election. Like the people who emailed you, Moore was not endorsing the president, far from it, but he got it. If more of our supposed leaders in the Republican and Democratic parties got it, we might actually see a couple of candidates who could propel us back to prosperity, unity, and respect on the world stage. Instead, they double down and offer us the same crotchety octogenarians they've served up before. I'm torn between which quote to close with. Benjamin Franklin saying, "A republic, if you can keep it," or Russell Crowe asking, "Are you not entertained?" Good luck, Tom from St. Paul. Trump baiting the judge does not seem to be a sign of new behavior on his part. Isn't he kind of always been that way?
I contend that's why he lost the election, because of what he said and did on social media in the summer leading up to it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it would have been any different 20 years ago had he been in the same trial. He'd have been doing the same thing.
I don't see it getting any better and or worse.
It's certainly going to be an interesting year. Now, DeSantis, who has been just ridiculed by Trump, having his wife ridiculed by Trump.
Yep.
Drops out of the race, immediately endorses Trump.
Yep.
I don't understand that. But I didn't understand it with Tom Emmer, for God's sake.
It's really easy.
But who is he going to support? Because Haley's going to last another, 6 minutes?
Joe,
yes,
you're giving it too much thought, Joe.
That's
it's really
my
easy.
job.
It's what the show has become the last few years. It's the third rail. That's all they care about. They're lying, backstabbing, greasy, slimy, evil people.
Yep.
All of them.
Where does Dean Phillips fit into this scenario?
There's some evil plan out there. I can't figure out what it is.
Well, I'm not going to associate the word evil with Dean Phillips.
I mean, more sinister, just like there's a deeper.
Could he be real? Could this be a guy who just said, "Look, we're in a mess here, and I'm here to, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I'm running. We're in a terrible way."
And so far, he's doing pretty well.
Why don't you book him for the show?
I've already reached out to his team. I did last week when you asked.
Dean Phillips. Who would have thunk it? Well, he's got a business background, doesn't he?
He does. His family
Isn't
does.
it Phillips Vodka?
Yeah, they're very successful.
A question about
wait, isn't it distribution?
Yeah, but I thought there's a brand of vodka called Phillips.
Yeah, they made everything, not just vodka.
Yeah.
Phillips.
Okay, sorry.
They have a distillery, I take it.
I've never been there.
Well, we're gonna get emails.
Last week we had a fun, juicy topic about Obama's wife running.
Boy, have I received a lot of emails on that.
Do you think the country would actually vote for somebody like that with no experience whatsoever? None? Are we just going to assume that a vote for Michelle is actually a vote for Barack? I can't see people voting for her just based on the fact that she's married to the guy.
And the emails I've received indicate that people don't think she would run because she's so enamored with her jet set lifestyle and that she did not like Washington, D.C. when she was there. And she somehow thinks it's beneath her or something. But they have mansions in Hawaii. They have a mansion on Martha's Vineyard, and she's making a ton of money. And people think it's unlikely she would wish to abandon that jet set lifestyle to serve in the White House. At which point, if she did serve in the White House, I have no doubt that that would be Obama's term as president. So if you're voting for Michelle, I guess what you'd be doing is voting for her husband, because he would be the de facto president, as he might be this very moment.
Have you? Yeah, that's the topic I really love to talk about. Have you had any serious conversations about Michelle's supporters? Do you, in fact, live with somebody who might cast a vote her way?
Thankfully, that hasn't come up.
We'll send her a text, Joe. We'll get it. We'll get
Let's
conversation.
not fire
going.
that one up.
Well, she's got to wait until the Chiefs are done playing, I bet.
You know what she wore yesterday?
Uh-oh.
What?
Chiefs socks.
No way.
The CP.
She's all in, huh?
That's fantastic.
Boy,
You know what you need to do?
Leave.
You need to one up her. You need to get your hands on a Taylor Swift T-shirt.
No, I don't.
And
Oh, yeah.
just go, oh, yeah? You got socks, huh?
How about
this?
Or the custom jacket that she wore that was
Yes.
made for her. Huh?
That was made by the wife
Yep.
of a 49er.
The fullback, Kyle Juszczyk.
And she's an attractive gal.
Shocker.
And she's a fashion designer, apparently.
Mhm.
And she gifted Taylor and Brittany those marvelous jackets.
Which was the smartest thing she ever did because it's going to make her a billionaire.
Yep.
And now, let's just get this game out of the way because it's on the minds of the American public. The America has a decision to make.
Okay.
You either
Trump or Biden.
No, this is more important.
Much more important.
This is way more important. You either accept this theatrical absurdity for what it is, just great fun and frivolity and just so silly that it's fun, or like Scott from Inver Grove, he's beside himself. He thinks Vince McMahon should be the commissioner of the league now.
Absolutely.
But I've said for 10 or 15 years, this is where the NFL is going.
Yeah.
They're going into a choreographed situation that'll become a reality TV show.
They're no longer going. They have arrived.
We're here.
They
Well,
have arrived.
I originally thought of the choreographed part to prevent serious injuries, that they're going to reach a point where they're so big, they're so fast that, Hamlin was just the beginning last year with his heart. That didn't even have anything to do with football. That was just congenital. But they're going to reach a point where they're killing each other. And to prevent that, the NFL will have to have it choreographed.
Right.
And then you have the damsel in distress,
Oh, yes.
which we already have now up in the suite.
Yep.
You've got
With her future brother-in-law shirtless, chugging beers.
Exactly. He added to it yesterday by jumping out of the box without his shirt on, and people all over the country were saying, "My God, one more beer, the pants are coming off."
Oh, yeah.
And it was great spectacle. Great spectacle. And then after the game, the Buffaloes turned the hot water off in the Chiefs' locker room so they couldn't get hot showers. So the whole thing continued post-game.
Yeah.
Now, so America has a decision to make. You either adopt this and enjoy it, or you become terribly frustrated that the league has lost its handle, has lost its grip on things.
Here, this might put it into perspective. I haven't seen an NFL game since the mid-'90s, back when Denny Green was still a coach. I have watched, I'm going to say at least a half a dozen football games this fall, including 2 or 3 over the weekend.
Yeah.
And I came to the conclusion yesterday that the first game that the Taylor was at this fall, do you remember the first game? That was when the NFL decided the Super Bowl. And the players in the Super Bowl, it's going to be the Chiefs, the Taylors, versus the Detroiters.
Why Detroit?
Because they're America's. They haven't won forever.
The lovable losers.
Well,
They're
they've never
pigs,
won
they're
a Super
dogs,
Bowl.
they're
and-
slobs. Yeah,
Well, they've never won a Super Bowl, and they haven't won a league title since 1957.
we've got our underdogs. It's the underdogs against the Taylors.
See, the situation with Kelsey yesterday is exactly why this country needs social media.
And I will tell you who's going to win right now.
Detroit.
The Detroiters are going to win. Yeah.
Because
I am not going to contest that prediction.
All right. I will.
I will too, because I'm going to say neither team will be in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
But that's just me.
Oh, you're funny.
Baltimore and San
Packers.
Francisco will be.
Packers.
I'm with
Do you see
Johnny
that
Hyde.
game?
Packers and Baltimore.
The
Or-
little
Packers.
photo of Jason Kelsey shirtless screaming with the 2 cans of beer. And the caption read, "Oh, okay. So America loves it when Jason Kelsey does this. But when I do it, it's time to
See,
go home."
Yeah.
The problem here is you two, John and Chris, you're too invested in this. You know too much. You think about it too much. You bitch about the price that they're getting paid and coaches and blah, blah, blah. Joe and I don't give a rat's ass.
I think on paper, Detroit cannot beat San Francisco.
But they will, because we saw.
I am not going to dispute Kenny. I predict Detroit beats San Francisco.
And you know why?
Just got ejected.
That's from Detroit.
Because as I've witnessed the past couple of weeks, I have never seen more corrupt officiating in my life. My God, what a joke. It's like Jesse Ventura is one of the refs in the ring. That's how corrupted it is.
Didn't he do XFL?
Yes.
Wasn't Jesse a ref?
He was the announcer, wasn't he?
Was it the announcer?
No, I'm comparing this to wrestling, like Joe has been for years and years.
Mr. Ass.
We've got a corrupt guy in the ring.
Tough game to throw, though. I mean, really, if you want to get right down to it, this is the time of year when I think it's rigged. I go through it every year. But then when I analyze it with the cold eye, I realize it would be very tough to rig a game.
Right.
Very tough.
When you got 70 guys on each squad.
I mean, there's too many.
Can you imagine the outcry in this country when Taylor's team loses? Oh, my
I
God.
sure would hate to be in a home filled with Taylor.
But she might not be able to attend the Super Bowl.
It's still her team, though.
She's in Tokyo. See, I know this kind of stuff now. And that would be
on her schedule. You got her schedule.
I got her schedule, and that would be a 14-hour flight back to Vegas.
Do you have
Joe,
like the map too, where they're all doing the lines of okay, so she's got to go from here.
Joe, it's satellite connections. There's going to be a viewing party. There'll be live shots at Taylor's party and wherever BF China or wherever she is.
In the meantime, this country goes right down the shitter.
I thought it's full.
Wow.
Clark.
It's full, Clark.
We're not even on the council. We're doing the show.
I know, but if Garofalo can say it, I can.
Okay. New standards in 2024.
We're going right down the tubes, and the country is mesmerized by a very mediocre songwriter. And her love affair with one of the biggest rubes who ever played football, and his rube brother, and their rube mom, and their rube mom Donna. I know all about Donna too. I got all the dope on Donna. When the boys were at the table, she had to make a chicken for each of them.
They're as dumb as a bucket of mud. My God.
I'll tell you what,
so
Kelsey's dumb like a fox. He's got two black guys who are his agents. They're absolutely cunning. They're going to turn him into the new Dwayne Johnson. He's going to be the new Rock.
Wow.
Who's a